Hello, welcome to class. This is a really good class for beginning yoga students to take. We are going to be spending time on the floor. It's very important practice to come to the floor, get up off the floor, but we're going to just practice some of the yoga moves that are specifically done on the floor. So, welcome to class. We're going to be coming back to earth. We're going to find our way down and onto our back body. If you're coming with me and would like to do the Spotify playlist, you could go ahead and hit the play button now. Okay. Coming down, we're going to ease our way down and onto the mat. You could take your feet wide, pressing the low back down. We're going to bring the knees together so that they're supporting one another. Hands could come down beside the body, palms open, and then feel gravity. Release into it. Taking some deep breaths in and out through the nose, arriving at your practice today. Visualizing all of those places that are in contact with the earth. You might visualize rooting down, moving down and into the ground. Okay, notice that place where your legs are together and then slowly bring them apart. Feet are still wide, and we're going to begin to just move the knees gently from one side to the other together. It doesn't have to be a big movement. You could start off small. And then you could check in with the back of your head, moving your head side to side. Nice and gentle. Okay, let's bring our feet back underneath us. So walking them in till they're hip width apart. And then we're going to take the arms up into the sky. So see if you can hang your arms up against gravity and just feel what that feels like. Rooting the shoulders back down and then begin to move the wrists. You could roll the hand, you could move the fingers, including your thumb. And then move the other way. We're going to bring our hands together, interlacing our fingers, and then we're going to turn palms up. See if you can keep your shoulders down on the ground and really stretch through the wrist and the forearms and the fingers. Turning the palms back to face you. We're going to bring our hands down beside our body, and we're going to take one leg up. See if you can straighten that leg and flex through the foot. We're going to begin to move the ankles. The ankle, you could flex point your foot, you could wiggle your toes. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring the ankle to the thigh, right underneath the knee, and then just come as if you're sitting in a chair and you have your ankle resting on your thigh. You could move it front to back or side to side a little bit. And then bring that leg down. Switching to the other side, see if you can straighten your leg. Keep the low back rooted to the ground. Could move your ankles. Could flex points. Wiggle the toes. Take a deep breath in. Let's bring the ankle back down to the thigh, and you could move your knee front to back. Let's bring that foot back down. We're going to take both feet up into the sky and then perhaps lift your head and bring your shoulders up and your hands. And we're just going to begin to warm up our joints. And so you can keep everything small and close, making sure that the low back stays rooted into the ground, or you can make it bigger. So you could find your range of motion. This is a very good core strengthener because this doesn't actually require movement of the vertebral joints. You can always take a break and then come back to it. Then everybody bring it back down. We're going to bring our feet down and we're going to take our arms out to the side and we're going to do cactus arms on the ground. And so just notice if you can bring the palms down. This can be kind of challenging to do, but it's good because it opens up the front of your chest. Breathe. See if you can relax into the pose. Okay, let's bring our knees into our chest, wrapping our hands around. We're going to roll a little bit gently side to side, massaging our low back. And then coming over and onto your side body, we're going to roll over, pressing up, coming onto all fours. So stacking your shoulders right over your wrists, your hips, your knees right underneath your hips. We're going to do some butterfly push-ups just to activate the shoulder joints. So what I'd like you to do is press the mat away and then keeping the arms straight, drop the chest towards the floor. So pressing. So I'm not really shortening my arms. I'm just moving my shoulder blades on my back body. We're going to come into child's pose. So take the knees wide, sink your hips back. You could bring your hands underneath your forehead. And this time just notice again what parts of your body are in contact with the earth, rooting them down, feeling them. Bringing yourself back and up into all fours. We're going to do our cat-cow. So this time we're going to move the spine. So spreading your fingers, pressing the mat away like we just did with our shoulders, and then tailbone to the sky, look up. So angry cat, arched spine, back up high, and then cow pose. Flowing with your own breath, you could exhale into cat, inhale into cow. Last one. We're going to try sitting back onto our heels. If this isn't too intense for your knees, you could put a block, you could put a pillow underneath your thighs to support yourself, or you could just simply come up and onto your knees whenever we come into the seated pose right here. So looking ahead, you could bring your hands, if you're sitting down, your hands palms up. We're going to take a deep breath in, bring them hands up, and exhale back down. See if you can take your hands to the back and around. Keeping a little tuck in your tail, some strength in your low belly so that you're not overarching your low back. So this can be done up on your knees. Two more times. Inhale up. Bring your hands out. We're going to come into spinal balance. So knees are right underneath your hips. Hands are right underneath your shoulders. Extending the left leg out. We're then going to extend the right arm to the front. And I want you to look straight down. The option here is to stay right where you are or to lift that back foot up. Spinal balance, strength and stability. Pull your low belly in. Breathe. Bringing the hand down. We're going to do the other side. Shifting. Leg comes to the back, arm to the front, lifting the back leg up, balance. You could always keep that back leg on the ground. Press the mat away with that one hand. Breathe. Slowly bring the leg and the arm back in. We're going to take the knees wide again and come back into child's pose, but this time we're going to extend the arms long. So extended child's pose. Soften, earthy, fertile soil here. We're going to do a little side bend. So we're going to walk the hands over together to the right. Notice how this might feel in your side body, lengthening in your ribs. Breathe some deep breaths. Take a deep breath in. Let's go back through center and then take it over to the left. Other side. Breathe nice and deeply. Bring it back through center, coming back and onto all fours. We're going to try a little balance pose here by bringing the right foot between the hands. And if you know that this isn't going to feel good to you, you might need to pad the knees. But you could always just stay right here with your hands on the ground. Or you could come up, balance, You could stay here, or you could bring your arms up, reaching them over the top of the head. Palms are facing each other. This is our balance on the ground. Drishti point, finding something to gaze at to help stabilize. Take a deep breath in and let's bring it back down. Stepping that leg back. Let's try the other side. So stepping it, could always pad that knee. Should feel no burning pain. Arms could come up, balance. Take a deep breath in, bring the hands back down. We're going to lower ourselves down and onto the belly. Belly into ground. Forehead could come down, or your chin. We're going to bring the hands out at a 45-degree angle. And we're going to lift the legs, the hands, and possibly the head up. So feel into the strength of this pose, working the back core muscles. Core muscles are wrapping all the way around your body. Breathe. This takes a lot of energy. Take a deep breath in, bring it back down. Turning your head in one direction, flip your palms, let your arms rest down to the ground and feel. Can you feel the heartbeat? If you like, you can turn your head the other direction just to check out some neck mobility. You could close your eyes, soften into the earth. And comfortable being on the floor. Okay, turn your head back to center. We're going to bring our hands underneath our shoulders and then our elbows. So Sphinx pose, gentle back bend. So again, you want to really listen to your body. If there's any sharp shooting pain or burning sensation, be very gentle, lifting yourself up, pulling yourself maybe a little forward. So you feel a stretch in the front of your body and a back bend in your low back region. Breathe. Take a deep breath in and slowly come back. We're going to bring our hands back underneath and come to all fours, but keep our hands out in front. So we're just going to practice moving from front to back. You could be very gentle with your low back, so don't come too far forward. This is a very common move in yoga classes, is this coming to front to back, maybe making sure your knees are parallel. Just practicing shifting your body weight. How do your wrists feel about this movement? Okay, we're going to find our way onto the right hip. Left leg can come back behind. So if this doesn't feel good, you could always move your leg out like this. This is an option where we just walk our hands forward. We're just looking for some stretching in our body, specifically into this. This would be my right hip, might be your left hip. So option, this is sometimes referred to as mermaid's pose. So we're just going to walk our hands forward. Maybe you can bring your elbows to the ground. Maybe you could even bring your forehead down to the backs of your hands. And breathe here. Finding your way back up. We're going to shift to the other side, but let's bring our feet center first and just take them side to side. And then find the other mermaid pose. Sitting up nice and straight, lengthening the spine as we come over. You might envision canyons and vistas, horizon, rocks, pillars. See if you can release a little bit further into the pose. Taking some deep breaths. Finding your way up. We're going to bring our feet back to center and take them side to side, knees side to side. And then we're going to find our way into cobbler's pose, which is Baddha Konasana. This is our pose of the day. So pressing your knees down, Baddha Konasana. Sitting up as straight as you can. You could grab onto your shins, your ankles, or your feet. Pressing down and reaching the crown of the head up. From here, we're going to find a balance pose onto our pelvis, our pelvis, our sits bones, they're sometimes referred to as in yoga class. So if this feels painful, then don't do this, because it could be that you have injured your tailbone at some point in time and it just doesn't feel good to you. So there are other options. You could come back down to the body and do this, right? This is core strengthening, as is boat pose. So this is our boat pose. You can bring your feet parallel to the ground, flex your feet, and then bring your hands out in front. And breathe in and feel those hip flexors doing their work. Sometimes shaking happens. You could always extend your legs and your body a little bit more. Shaking happens. Breathe through any minor discomfort. And then when you're ready, back to our pose of the day, Baddha Konasana, cobbler's pose. Sitting up nice and straight. Breathing. Now let's take our feet out in front of us and see if you can sit up straight. If you are back here, then that means you probably have tight hamstrings, and so you can bend your knees a little bit to sit up straight. We want to find a way to bring our hands back, maybe fingertips towards your bottom is the way we want to think of this, and then reach the chest up towards the sky. Breathe, maybe lengthen the legs, maybe flex the feet. Opening up the heart. Bring it back down. We're going to wrap our hands around. So take one arm around and then the other arm around, and then just bring your chin into your chest. Feel the opening of the back body. When you're ready, open the hands, the arms, other arm on top, other arm underneath. Wrap your hands, chin comes to the chest. Breathe into your back body. Opening the heart. We're going to bring ourselves back to seated, and I'm going to grab the backs of my thighs and I'm going to try rolling back, but I'm going to stay off of my head and my neck. So I'm just going to roll on my spine. This should not be painful. You could always just come down to your back and bring your knees into your chest. Breathing. And then when you're ready, bring it all the way back. Lower yourself down. We're going to do a spinal twist from here. So extending one leg long, shifting your body weight over to that side, that hip, just a little bit. And then foot comes to the top of the thigh, twisting in one direction. You could reach your arm out, look the opposite direction that your knee is traveling. And breathe. See if you can get your rib cage to rise and fall. And then slowly bring it back to center. Switching to the other side. Shift your body weight to one side. Extending the arm long, looking in that direction, rooting your shoulder down. Bringing it back in. Here we're going to just move. So let's just try rolling our body maybe to one side, maybe to the belly, moving back. This is a really great way to just massage your muscles, to become more enamored with the floor, with the earth. I encourage you to spend more time on the floor, maybe even going outside, laying down on the ground. And then bring it back to center. And we're going to set up for final relaxation, which is a way to integrate our practice before moving on to the next thing. You could come back to the way we started with the feet wide on the mat, the knees leaning into each other. Or if you prefer, you could have your legs out. We're going to bring our hands down by the side of our body. You could shift your shoulders up and you could wiggle yourself. The whole goal of this is to eventually find our way into stillness wherever we are. Stillness in the body. See if we can still the mind, find a little bit of space between one thought and the next. Coming back to the sensations in the body, noticing those places that are in contact with the ground. You can imagine roots coming from your body and moving down into the earth. Being nourished and grounded. rooted. And you could stay with the imagery of the earth, or if you like, you can find a little bit of freedom, the top half of the body coming into contact with the sky. Seen above, you can see yourself on the earth. Visualizing the clouds above. Connecting with the sky and the spaciousness, letting your boundaries of your physical body dissolve a little bit. Becoming light. Balancing between earth and sky. Notice if you have any pain in your body, you could explore what is that sensation? Maybe you can release a little bit of tension, soften. And then if you notice any particularly good sensations in your body, exploring those. How can you make that good sensation even better? It's growing that. Maybe it's a little bit of heat, tingling, excitement, beauty, wonderment. Staying here for as long as you can, or as long as you like. Otherwise, rolling over to your side, pressing up, coming into seated, whatever way is comfortable for you. Bringing your hands together, giving yourself a little bow, thanking yourself for coming to the practice. Namaste.